Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Spill It. Spill It is a show where I get to speak to inspirational people and share some inspirational stories to connect people together, inspire others, and help people learn something new. This is episode 72, Confidence Through Cabaret. My fabulously amazing guest will be joining us at 7:10 p.m. So Heather Jean will be here talking about confidence through cabaret. This is going to be awesome. I'm all about the cabaret. All of that is going to be coming and more at 7:10 p.m. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. Until then, you get the lovely company of me, and I've got some things to talk about. But before we get into that, don't forget to do the 3 things that I ask for every single time that you guys come into here, which is to like, share, and comment. The reason that I ask for these 3 things is simple. Basically, we want it to go everywhere. We want Spill It to be in everybody's feed right now. So if you like and you comment, it means that the algorithms push it up. And obviously, if you share it, it means that people get to interact with it as well. And also, comment, because then you're part of the conversation too. If you've got questions for me or my guests, then all you have to do is just throw them into the comments box and we can interact with them. You are part of the show and you are part of the conversation as well. If you haven't checked out the other episodes yet of Spill It, then you can do. All you ever have to do is head over to the Spill It website. That is www.spillit.uk, and you'll be able to see all of the episodes that we have done so far here at the Spill It community, the Spill It Hall of Teenus, the Spill It. The Spill It Fold, whatever you want to call it, you can get it all over on the Spill It website. And of course, if you're wanting to listen to Spill It on the move, then you can do as well, because all the links to the podcast are over there as well. And if you don't, want to go over there and get the links, just go onto your preferred podcast streaming app and search for Spill It UK, and you'll see it right there. Keep those comments and questions rolling through. I enjoy interacting with you guys as well, so make sure that you do that. And of course, if you've got questions throughout the show, I'm sure Heather would be more than happy to answer any of your questions as well. Okay, are you ready? I've got quite a lot of tea to discuss today, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. It is tea time. A massive shout out to Deborah from Arizona. Thank you so much for tuning in, Deborah. It is always lovely to see you. And you've just come along at the right time because I've got some tea to share with you. I've got it all. It's all ready for you. Are you ready to get into it? Because I am. This is your first bit of tea for today. IT Wolf. Yes, that is right. I found this beautiful little article about dogs and TV. So this is a play on words, the ITV, but obviously IT Wolf. Are you ready for this? Man's best friend no longer has to put up with joining humans on the sofa for soaps or the latest binge watch series. Soon, the nation's dogs will have a range of specialist pooch-friendly content to enjoy. Dog TV is a new television network created specifically for our 4-legged friends, which is set to launch in the UK on Monday. Created after 3 years of research, the channel will air scientifically tested programming aiming to alleviate symptoms of conditions such as separation anxiety, loneliness, and stress. It will also have shows to help owners better understand and look after their pets. I think that is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to kit up my house. They're going to have their own little living room space. I think they're going to have their own little TV. They can go in there and I can turn the TV on. But what an amazing thing this is. I think it's absolutely beautiful. A lot of people out there will be thinking, what is that about? But I genuinely do. I think it's so beautiful. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm like a massive dog lover. So just something like this, it literally just fills my heart with glee every time I've seen it. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But what are your thoughts about dog TV? Put it in the comments, let me know. And if you are listening to this on the podcast, make sure that you drop me an email as well. As always, my email is marcus@spillit.uk, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts. Let me know. I think it's beautiful. That's all that matters, really. No, but I do care what you guys think. Of course, I care what you think. Let me know. Drop it in the comments or drop me an email as well, and we can discuss it too. Next on my list of tea for today, Monster Mondays. So you might remember last week I was discussing the fact that I'm going to be starting up my very own gaming channel over on Twitch. Now, as you can see, normally what we do is we go live via Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So hi everybody from Twitch who's currently watching this. But yeah, so normally we go live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch every single week for Spill It. Now, what's going to happen is that my gaming channel has launched, and we're going to be doing Monster Mondays. So what that essentially means is that I'm going to be playing all of those horror films? No, those horror games. I'm going to be getting scared on the sofa whilst I'm playing there. Let me be honest with you. I don't really do well with horror games as it is. I get quite scared very, very quickly. But you'll be able to see all of my reactions and more over on Twitch every single Monday for Monster Mondays. It's going to be awesome. If you are into that, if you're into the whole Twitch gaming side of things, make sure that you go and give me a follow. You can follow all of my social medias. It's just spillit_Marcus. That's the best way that you can find me on absolutely anything. Deborah Cade has said, my Katie loved to watch you when you did your exercise program when we were all locked down. There you go. We could do some exercise programs on Dog TV or Pet TV. You know, we'll create our own. We'll create our own Pet TV. Spill It's Pet TV. And they can do exercises and whatever. Linda Proctor's here. Hi, Linda. Falling off any chairs today, Marcus? Yes, I have, Linda. You know damn well I have. You with your voodoo doll. I hate you. I hate you. I don't. I love you, Linda. But yeah, spooky. Nope. Start that again. But yeah, Monster Mondays will be launching on Monday. I can't wait for that. Make sure that you tune in and, see me scream at some random monsters that are running after me on games and things. It's going to be awesome. Next up, Spooky Spill It. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, we were talking about some people reading some spooky stories that they found on the internet, doing them for Spill It. And I have got all of those recordings. We've been, editing them together. There has been a bit of a backlog, so I do apologize for not pushing them out over the Halloween season. However, they are good to go, and you shall start seeing those over on the podcasts this weekend. So make sure that you go and check them out and share them about as well. I'll obviously create a video version of them as well, so you can see them in action. But yeah, make sure that you go and check them out. Make sure you go and support these guys as well. They've worked really, really hard on these special episodes. They will obviously be mainly aimed at the podcast audience. So if you haven't followed me on the podcast yet, make sure that you do. But there will be a video version. It'll just basically be like the video with the words that they say on a little campfire, etc. But they will be available as well, but that'll be more in the future. The podcast people, and of course, anybody who is on Patreon, you guys will get access to those specifically. And then further on down the line, the video ones will be available for everybody to view. But you guys over on Patreon and the guys who subscribe on the podcast will get early access to them first. And last but not least, my little last bit of tea for today, the extra spill. So you guys know that I've been wanting to try and change this format around a little bit with Spill It and where Spill It's going to go in the future, especially as we head into 2022. One of the ideas that I've had is that you're going to get a bonus episode of Spill It. How great is that? So essentially, you'll be getting your main episode here with my guests, with me and my guests every single week. But then you're also going to be getting the extra spill. Now, the extra spill will be specifically for those who subscribe on the podcast. So if you wanted to get the extra spill episodes, they're going to be specifically for those people who subscribe on the podcast and also Patreon users as well. So make sure that you head over to Patreon and make sure that you subscribe on the podcast. If you do that, essentially you get these extra bonus episodes and they're every week as well. So you get extra weekly episodes of the extra spill from me every week. So, you know, what are you waiting for? Head over to Patreon, head over to my podcast. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you join Patreon and become an official teacup. For all the links and more, you can head over to the Spill It website, www.spillit.uk. That is where you will find the links for the Patreon, and you'll also find links to the podcast for you to subscribe. And it is as simple as that. Okay, it is that time. My guest has been patiently waiting in the back, ready to come out. She's been waiting in the dressing room or the green room or whatever you want to call it in this virtual space. She has been waiting very, very patiently. It is her time to shine. It is my special guest for this evening. Make sure that you give a nice, warm Spill It welcome to Heather Jean. Hello, Heather Jean.
Hello. Thank you for having me here. That was fun.
How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you. How are you guys? Everybody good?
Everybody is, you'll have loads of comments coming through saying how good they are. We've got some of our regulars on there as well. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely awesome. I've been wanting to talk about this for ages, and the fact that it's cabaret. Oh, you've made my life. This is all me. This is what right up my street. There we go. Linda has joined saying hello and welcome, Heather Jean.
Thank you. Hello.
I'm
so excited. Yeah, I'm okay, let's do the thing. Yeah.
Now, before we get into it, are you ready to play a little game with me?
I think so.
I'll go easy on you, I'm sure. It is the 5-second rule. That's right. This is the 5-second rule. This is a game where I will say to name 3 somethings, and you have got 5 seconds to name those 3 somethings. Does that make sense?
It probably will when you do it. Let's try it. I'm just reading the comments here going, no, it's not easy. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, so give me an example then.
Okay, so an example would be name 3 musicians who begin with the letter B, or and you would say like
now
Bob Marley. Who else begins with B? and then you would have failed because it's been longer than 5 seconds. But you get a little timer.
It's a good thing we're not live or anything. This is good. Oh, Bob Geldof. Well done, Linda. Yeah, nice.
Thank you, Linda, as usual. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Mars,
fun. Bruno Mars is another one.
And also, I just want to point out, Linda, you've had more than 5 seconds to think of them.
Yeah, she definitely has. Okay, let's do it. This is the 5-second round. I'm going to ask you 3. You've got 3 rounds of questions. Okay. So your first one is name 3 things you do when no one is looking.
Sleep, snore, and shower.
Nice, well done. That's 3. Congratulations.
Okay. I feel like you went easy on purpose.
I did go easy on purpose.
This is a false sense of security, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, Linda, I give you that. I give you that. You had to type it, so that you had to have longer than 5 seconds for the example round.
Okay, Name 3 plants that start with the letter S.
Succulent. Uh, uh, I can think of food. Why am I thinking of food? I don't know. No idea. What
Sunflower.
are other sunflower? Good, nice.
Um, would a shrub, would that count? Shrubbery bush.
I mean, I guess it's a plant, right?
Yeah, I would go with that one.
Yeah, I would have given you that one. Oh no, Linda says no, but I would have given you that one.
Okay, well, Linda, you give us a third one then.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, last one. Name 3 animals that live in cold areas.
Penguins, polar bears, moose.
Moose. There's a moose.
Moose.
Loose about this hoose. That is like a really old reference. I've really shown my age.
I didn't understand it. I didn't understand that at all.
So basically, there was see the people who are watching this at home, they'll know it straight away. But there was an old advert on TV for wine gums, which are like some sweets in the UK, and the advert was a man sat in his chair and he would eat one of the wine gums, and then this song would start playing, and it'd go, "There's a moose loose about this hoose."
Yeah, good old British television advertising. Yeah, top quality.
It was absolutely amazing and epic. I absolutely loved it. Guys who are watching at home, who have zero idea what I'm talking about, or if you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure that you go and check out my Instagram and my Twitter account, because after this, I'll be posting that advert. And I'll tag you in it as well, Heather. Like, I'll
beautiful. I want to see it. I want to see it because I was in Canada in those days, so I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, it's a very old and niche reference. You would have had to have been in the UK over a specific time period to have got that reference. But there you go.
Amazing. Linda got the reference. Linda's got it.
Did you enjoy that game?
That was fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that was the 5-second rule.
Yep.
Okay, so that was the 5-second rule. I'm glad that you had fun. It's just a little icebreaker, just before we start getting into it. Now, I want to know absolutely everything that there is to do about you, and to do with obviously the work that you've done and everything. So, for everybody who is out there, who the heck are you?
So I'm Heather, mostly. I try. It's. I don't know if you ever tried this, to describe yourself without like labels or roles or titles. It's really interesting. Like, to sort of, if you're introducing yourself and you're not saying I'm a mother, or I'm a business person, or I'm a whatever. It's really interesting how quickly we go into titles.
Yeah. I would describe. Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, I don't know how I would do it. I'm Marcus. I'm a very loud. I'm a very loud and infectious person with a huge personality and a lovely smile.
Oh, that's beautiful! I love that. Oh, I love that. And that
everybody who is watching and listening will be like, nope.
But isn't it interesting, because that's a totally different thing than how we introduce ourselves as as I was about to, and then I went off on that little tangent there. I have had my own training and coaching consultancy for over 25 years, and that's all based around leadership, interpersonal skills, communication, stuff like that, and it's all for like large conferences for corporations. And during COVID, of course, we couldn't travel and we couldn't all gather together in large conferences, and Zoom has some limitations to it. So I decided that I was going to start an online business, just to share. It wasn't really going to ever be a business. It was just going to be like a group and a bunch of people, And it was just about sharing about what I know about communication and what I know about, connecting and self-awareness. Had a little meltdown at the beginning of COVID and kind of went, oh, wow, like, how am I going to cope as an extrovert when I'm not drawing energy from other people around me? So I had that little meltdown moment first. And then I connected with, kind of cabaret, which is my hobby, and because I'm an aerial and cabaret dancer, and then
Nice.
combining that with everything that I knew, and then share ways to build confidence, whether that's in your personal life or your work life or your stage life. This is, whether that's online life or wherever your stage is. So I kind of pulled the whole thing together, and I share tips and techniques around how to love the skin you're in, how to take up space and own it, how to raise your voice and get your message out there.
And how is it that you do stuff like that through cabaret?
Well, so I do have a website, which is confidencethroughcabaret.com, and we have workshops and things in there. But I don't actually teach cabaret. We just talk about, so imagine you're on a stage. Imagine you're going to, step out to perform. You're not going to shrink, because that's unless that's part of your act. You don't want to be shrinking, right? You don't want to be like not taking up space, physically, standing back from the audience. You want to be big and up and, taking up space. And whenever I say that to not only women, but especially women, when I say, or if I'm identifying, talk about shrinking or not taking up space, they instantly have a physical reaction like, yeah, I have that. And it's amazing to me how many people are just uncomfortable even just holding your arms out as wide as you can and owning that space. So I use that and a lot. I use, also, if you were on stage, you got to be in your spotlight, right? You don't want to be in the dark shadows. You want to be in that spotlight, and you want to be taking up your space, and you want to be sharing your voice. And whether that's a voice because you're using your body and dancing, or whether that's a voice because you're physically singing or telling comedy or whatever it is, then you need to be able to project that, right? So for people who are uncomfortable with, speaking or doing lives, for people who are, uncomfortable even just to be talking amongst their team members, sometimes on Zoom, and that we forget how intimidating that is for some people. So we talk a lot about projecting that confidence, and then there's a lot of people talking about fake it till you make it. But I think that only takes you so far. So really, like, if you're going to be presenting yourself, then you've got to believe it. And so we get into some of the beliefs, some of that imposter voice. We get into, some of the things that we were programmed were, people around us when we were growing up gave us all kinds of programming about that, things that aren't always helpful. So we get into that kind of beliefs behind it so that it can, really kind of come out authentically.
I absolutely love that, and some of the things that you've talked about there is some of the things that I've felt during my time, especially through lockdown as well. So I felt when you said that I was sorry, so you said that you felt like you were an extrovert, but you couldn't feed off people's energy to be that extrovert. And yes, that was very much me during the very first lockdown here in the UK. I was like secluded to one room whilst working from home during lockdown. And so therefore I wasn't seeing people. And I'm a very, very, very extroverted person. I'm a very people person. I thrive off meeting new people and picking up that energy and all of that lot. And I absolutely love stuff like that, but I wasn't able to be that person. I wasn't able to have that much energy. And so therefore I felt myself shrinking more and more to being, and even now, like I'm at my workplace now, and I still feel like I've not really got them connections yet with people because of how small I've been, not made to feel, but I've made myself feel. And so you mentioned something there around like this imposter, and I've talked about this so many times on this show, and I'm just wanting your insight because people at home will hear me talk about it time and time again. So it'll be good to hear it from somebody else's perspective about this imposter that lives inside of us, this self-saboteur that, is that little voice in your head that tells you these little things, these little nasty little things that you can't break free of.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the vast majority of us have that in some way. I actually didn't think I had imposter syndrome until we got into the beginning of the first lockdown. I genuinely didn't recognize it. I work with clients who had it, but I didn't ever feel like I experienced it. And it's interesting the different ways that it shows up. I'm very much a soloist, which means that I don't ask for or accept help even if it's offered. And I have learned to have to do that because I've had to do it. And it's still not my first thing is, no, I'm fine. And then I have to say, oh, I'd really appreciate some help. I have to, but that's a secondary voice for me. So that's the main way that shows up. Also, when I didn't have that energy to feed off of people, I found, I really had a little bit more procrastination tendency. And so I had to bottom out what was causing that procrastination and what was behind that, because that was kind of a temporary thing for me, and it wasn't typical. So it's okay. So what am I believing here? Right. And getting in behind those things. So, but our imposter voice is, typically, not always, but typically caused by, we don't internalize the positives. We don't internalize the compliments. It's like if I ask you, you get 9 compliments, and then you get one person who's less positive or negative, in fact, and then which one do you remember? And most of us would remember that one, right? So we internalize those things, and for a lot of us, when our imposter syndrome starts, is because we have internalized the positives. Now, part of that's our negativity bias that we've evolved with, but our part of it is also our programming of how we were told to show up and so on. And so, I was told to hide, like, keep myself covered up and keep myself small and shh, don't be so loud, and all of those kind of things. So then when I'm running a big conference, right, and I'm loud, then it's kind of there's still a little part of my voice that's going, just simmer down, because that's so deeply programmed in, and because I've internalized more the negative things in that case, then it will show up that way. But what we have to do is be able to celebrate what we are doing well. And so I was just coaching somebody earlier tonight, and they were saying, that they felt like they were on a downward spiral. And I said, okay, but you've just done something, and you need to take the celebration of, I showed up, I gave it a shot, I learned something from it, and sort of starts to really kind of pull out some of those positivity things out of it and celebrate the successes. Yeah, I also use the voices. Sorry, I was just going to say, do you use the name? Have you guys talked about the name before? Naming your imposter?
No. So I haven't talked about it on the show. It is something, though, that I have been talking about in my book. So I'm currently writing the book, and it's more of like a memoir of my life. I started writing it as a self-help book, and then it kind of changed its direction to be more of a memoir. And I talk about imposter syndrome, and what my imposter is like, because I have it so much. And yes, what I found is naming it really, really helps, because it helps me identify when that's taking over. But yeah, go for it. The floor's yours.
No, I love it. I love that you've done this. I found that it really helped, because I can talk to that voice that comes up. I can recognize it as a voice. I don't prefer the term imposter syndrome. I know that's what it's called. I prefer to talk about the imposter voice, because we have several voices in our head, and only one voice is talking at any one time. So if our imposter voice is talking loud and clear, then we need to get a handle on that. And one really good technique that I found, that's widely recognized, is to name that voice and then talk to that voice. And so that's a really good one for me. Say, for example, going on stage, and the last thing I want to hear is all the bad things that could happen. So I want to be saying, thanks, mine's Donald, because I made mine a cartoon voice. Thanks, Donald, I got this. I'm okay. Because I choose to see that. I know, because otherwise Donald has too much power if he's like a serious, strong. So yeah. I kind of made it like a, just this me in my ear. So then I can talk to it and say, because that voice is there to protect us. And if we can connect with it, if we can, kind of make friends with it effectively, then it will help. So to being able to talk to it and go, okay, thanks for that. I know you're trying to warn me of what might happen, but I got this. I'm good. I'm going to do it. And so then we can start to tap into some of the things that we talk about in Confidence Through Cabaret around, there's not really a difference in our body between fear and excitement. So choosing to see it as excitement and tune into it that way.
I do really like that. And I mean, I talking about like in the imposter syndrome side of things, I know that my little, I call it myself, like my inner saboteur. Like I don't tend to throw around the term imposter syndrome quite a lot. We all know what imposter syndrome is, but I call it my inner saboteur. It's my little guy that's in my head. He's just my little saboteur that just tells me some of the things that can be quite overwhelming at times. But yeah, my inner saboteur can take over. And my inner saboteur came from many years ago of not struggling with my identity as part of the LGBTQIA community. And the way that people used to put me down and to say derogatory things and negative things and put me in this mind space. And as you quite rightly said as well, with people telling you to kind of shush a little bit, my parents, because I was quite loud and because I was very outspoken and because I was very flamboyant and I talk with my hands and all this, and I was told to bring that down. I was told to basically be somebody that I'm not. And also with mixing all of this big personality and being told to hush that down, mixing that with the fact that struggling to come to terms with my sexuality, having to hide that sexuality as well. This is where my little inner saboteur was born. And so therefore, when I become this really loud person, and sometimes that inner saboteur tells me, back off a little bit, keep the voice down, don't go too far, or you don't know what these people are going to start thinking if you do this. And if you continue down this path, who are you going to annoy? When are people going to tell you to shush, and be very, very mindful? And sometimes that argument is just too much in my head that I just think it's just easier to back away.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because that voice is difficult to change or get rid of. Something that I found that I love, and I do this on Confidence Through Cabaret podcast, but I'll do this with you now. So cabaret can be lots of different things. I know. Cabaret, yeah. I just wanted some revenge. Let's turn this around now.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay. So cabaret can be a lot of different things. It's typically, I kind of describe it as, like a being in a small venue, right? So you could see cabaret acts like someone like Dita Von Teese. If you're into burlesque, then that would be on a huge stage now because, world famous. But most of the comedians, a lot of singers, Bette Midler always talks about working cabarets and, different clubs and things. So comedians the same. And so it might be singing, it might be dancing, it might be burlesque, it might be drag king or queen, it might be comedy, contortion, aerial sometimes. So if you were going to perform on a cabaret stage, what would you perform?
So there's two things, there's two ideas that come straight to mind, and Linda will know straight away. So I run a dance class twice a week, and both of the numbers come from there. Number one is Christina Aguilera, show me how to burlesque, or show you how to burlesque, which is more of like a really upbeat track about burlesque. Now, I would absolutely love doing a dance like that. I would take center stage. I would have people behind me. I would have heels on. I would be like quite androgynous. I would do all of that. There is another one which I would perform, which would be the Pointer Sisters. Oh God, the track's gone away from me. Linda will probably know in the comments, so you're gonna have to help me out, Linda. But it's by the Pointer Sisters, and we do it every single week, and I go all out for it, and I just kind of forget that I have these dancers that I'm trying to teach, and it's just me in the middle of the floor. So that's
Jump.
Right.
Jump. Oh wow, that is fast. That is fast. Okay, so you're going to go to the stage and you're going to perform Pointer Sisters Jump. What's your stage name, Marcus?
Okay, so my stage name is...
Wait. Please welcome to the stage.
It's... So right, okay. So my actual stage name, if we're gonna go with my idea of what I'd be doing, it would be Regina Gorgeous.
Fabulous. Fabulous. And what one prop are you going to take on stage with you? You can only have one.
My prop. Okay, I would take like a tub of, like an actual like big tub of glitter.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. That I mean, yeah. As somebody who's stage managed a lot of times, that's a really horrible one.
Yes, it really is. Like, yeah. The stage crew would be like, "Oh no, this is a nightmare."
Yeah.
Because who's going to clean up that mess?
I do a kind of a Valley of the Dolls burlesque act, and I have all these bottles of pills, but they're all Tic Tacs, and I'm just throwing them constantly, and they go everywhere. And I wear 9-inch heels on stage, so if you can, I know. So if you can imagine being in heels and then walking amongst the Tic Tacs, it's a nightmare. But the stagehands hate it because it's such a big cleanup.
Yeah.
Sparkles. Linda's going for sparkles. Lots of sparkles. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to come back. So your stage name, Regina
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. Regina Gorgeous. Okay. So we have this imposter voice, which we can name, right? Coming back to our original conversation, because I did have a point for that tangent other than revenge. So we have this voice, whatever that the the self-saboteur, the inner saboteur, the imposter voice, however you want to phrase it. And if you name that, and then you can sort of say, okay, thanks very much, Donald. And then I got this. And then you can bring in your other voice, right? So you can bring in your Regina Gorgeous. Now, Regina Gorgeous, I'm guessing, does not shy away from anything.
No, she does not. She has got an attitude. She's like out there. Yeah, she's strong and fierce, and I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you see how that's a different, right? So when you're going on a stage, you're using your stage name, you take on this other persona that suddenly can do things that our imposter voice would tell us not to do. And so I make that like a noise, and I go, okay, I got this, and then I tune in to my stage name. It's so
and then
good.
Because I said, right, because I said to you, you can only have one voice in your head at a time.
Yeah.
And they might have a conversation. It might be, back and forth. But then you can go, Donald, just go to the cupboard, kind of thing. And you can maneuver amongst your voices. So I mean, this works for me sometimes when I even need physical strength. So because I said to you, I'm an aerial dancer, then I sometimes I just kind of go, I can't reach, or I don't have the strength, or whatever it is. And then I kind of go, no. And then I tune into my stage voice, and then I go, no, you are a fierce aerial dancer. You can hold this. And it's amazing. I physically feel more energy, I feel more strength, and I feel more powerful. And so if you're tuning into Regina Gorgeous, and you don't need to shy away, you don't need to go back into that smaller space. You can't do it all the time, like 24 hours or every waking hour. But when you need to, you can tap into other voices and question or put aside your imposter or saboteur.
I absolutely love this, and Linda agrees as well. Linda said that she loves this as well. It is really, really good and so effective as well, because I'm now thinking of like all of these situations that I've found myself in, where I just kind of brush off the inner saboteur and just kind of go forward. That is the personality, if you will, of Regina. Regina comes out in these different ways. Like, say, for example, I'm teaching dance. Like, Linda's seen it plenty of times. Linda comes to one of my dance classes as well, where a certain song will come on and it'll just take over. And I turn into this really sassy, over-exaggerated, like, diva of a person. And that's Regina. And she's like this energy, this like massive energy that I've had to hold back for so long. And yeah, she's like my thing that I can just go out and just do it. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you. Like, I love it.
Like I can't be seen.
Oh,
but
there you go.
I don't even know
I
if
think
I
I've
can
got
be
you
there.
back.
There we are.
I've got you back now.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Good old Wi-Fi. Good old Wi-Fi. So yeah, that's Regina. That's Regina.
Yeah, and it's really, really good advice. The fact that if you can name this person, that, you know, this stage presence, if you will, like, that's what you would do, and this is the prop that you would use, and all of that lot, and then changing that to, you know, that you can only have one voice at one time. It's brilliant advice, really good advice.
Thank you. It's kind of playing. Oh, I'm there. You know, getting behind our beliefs and really trying to uphold our confidence. It's a tricky journey, and it's not like, you know, confidence isn't something that we get there and then that's it. Then we've always got it. It's always going to be this, you know, bumpy ride. So it's just about kind of not going so low in the lows, and you know, and coming back up the other side as quickly as possible, or sometimes, you know, accepting help and, you know, building bridges so we don't have to go down. But I think, you know, when we play with these things, and I say play because I love play, because I don't want to make my journey any harder. It's already difficult by the fact that it's a journey. But if I can do that, and I can have some fun, and I can play with it, and I can be, my stage name is also Helen, and I chose that because I live in the UK. People call me Helen all the time, and so I just adopted it, and it became my thing because I used to be Helen back. And that was kind of the work through of my past and all of the really crummy things that have happened for me. I'm working on that still. You know, but I think you know, I didn't want to keep retelling that story, so I reinvented it. And so I made myself also Helen, because
think we lost Heather again. Bear with. God help Marcus tomorrow. Thanks, Linda. I'm gonna have like a bunch of sassy divas with me tomorrow evening. Are you back, Heather?
I'm back. I don't know what keeps happening. I'm not sure, because my
It's
Wi-Fi
okay,
seems
don't
to
worry.
say it's working. But yeah, so I think
if we go from so you named yourself Helen because of.
Okay, so I named myself Helen because so I had Helen back, which was my story and my past and my processing, and then I decided that I'm also more than my past. I'm also more than my titles. I'm also more than any descriptions you want to use. So I chose also Helen to be, I can be anything. I can be demure, and also fierce, and also filthy, and also fun, and also all of the possibilities.
I honestly, it's beautiful. Like, just the things that you say, and obviously that's a callback to from what you've just said there about, like, you're more than your titles, essentially. From when I said, "Who the heck are you?" and you was like, trying to avoid these titles, and I just think that that's magically beautiful. I think it's a really good outlook to have, where you are more than you are more than your titles. You are more than, what people label you as. You are these thoughts and these feelings inside that you've built up over a lifetime. It's more.
It is absolutely, absolutely. And I think once we kind of get into that headspace, then we can start to accept our bodies as they are. You know, like, yeah, sure, you might want to become fitter, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to start from accepting your body where you are. You have to start. So when I went back to burlesque after COVID, I was thinking, okay, I'm older and I'm way less fit and less strong. I shouldn't go on stage. Nobody wants that. And then I thought, no, because that makes me a hypocrite. I'm showing up, and it doesn't matter because I feel good in my body. I accept it. I enjoy it, and I get to have that strength and fierceness. So I think, you know, it's really, these practices really kind of come together to help us accept who and what and where we are, and
So who and what we are. So we are more than who and what we are.
yeah, I just was saying, we're more than who or what we are. We're our feelings, we're our thoughts, we're our programming, you know, and we get to make choices around that. I mean, that's part of our life's work. So, you know, I just, I think we have to be accepting of ourselves as we are, even if we want to be
It's
different in the future.
definitely, so it's such good advice. I'm so happy that you've spent some time with us today. What's next for you then? What does the future hold for Heather?
Well, I will still go back to some corporate work, and I am still doing some coaching one to one. But I really want to, you know, kind of create communities and have programs together where we go through moving our body without the dictation of our head that says, oh, you should move your arm now or your leg now, or, you know, but just kind of moving and really getting into our body. Mirror work, you know, even gratitude practices all come to building confidence. So I'm going to start webinars in a big way in the new year, just to get as many people together and sharing and healing as possible. That's going to be my main aim. But I will still go back to some corporate. I just find that corporate is a very masculine energy, and I'm
Yes.
enjoying being in my feminine energy. In other words, with my intuition and my creativity and my feelings, where I shift identities when I go into the corporate environment, because for most of the businesses, that's not how that works.
And that's because of, ladies and gentlemen, we bring it back to this again. It is the patriarchy.
Now, if you'd have said, you know, name a word for a ridiculous system set up by people for those same people to support those people and exclude everyone else, I would have known the P word.
Oh, how we love the patriarchy, the patriarchal society that we live in, that is male dominant and doesn't allow you to be who you are and all of this. Like, no, you should hide your feelings because that is not professional, apparently.
Apparently. And that's what makes us unemployable.
Exactly. It makes you too much to handle. That's what it is. You're too much to handle. How many
Yeah.
times has it happened within businesses where you have these extravagant ideas, or you are an extravagant person and you have not been put forward for that promotion or for that whatever it is, because of the fact that you are really, really out there and you've had to bring yourself down? It's unreal.
You think about it, like,
Bear with, guys. Heather will be back shortly, I'm sure. There we
I
go.
would like to apologize on behalf of Wi-Fi, whatever the provider is. That was a message.
Don't worry about it. So
that was a Wi-Fi message to change my Wi-Fi provider. Yeah. So you know, imposter syndrome, if you think about it, it really limits a business, because people aren't, you know, especially, but not only women, are less likely to go for promotion because they don't feel like they can do it, or it's Donald, there it is. And also, you know, if people aren't coming forward with their wild and wacky and creative ideas, then where they don't get those ideas if people are shrinking and keep sense for a business. So I don't mean it as a gender description. I mean, we all have feminine and masculine energy in us. It's just
Yeah.
unfortunately a label, but it's really talking about like getting stuff done, which is very, if you think about a business, achieving objectives and achieving results and drive and all of those kind of words that are about doing things, versus the feminine, which is about play and creativity and inspiration and intuition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was talking a few months ago about, I wasn't talking on the show, I was talking to people offline about an opportunity that there was for me that I had applied for within obviously the corporate world. And one of the reasons that I did not get the job was because I was too creative. So they said because I'm a creative person, I was not suited for that role. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, surely, if you're wanting someone to have this type of really positive energy out there that wants to influence change, that wants to influence a team, surely you need to be thinking creatively. You can't be thinking corporate. And they didn't like that. They wanted me to be more corporate, and that just sucks. But that's on you guys for not hiring me because I'm with someone else better.
Nice. I mean, that's the best form of revenge, right? But you're right.
Exactly.
I think the one thing I will say in their defense is at least they were honest and open about it. Because some businesses
Yeah,
go,
of course.
yeah, we love it, and then you get in, and then they try and stifle it, and that just is, yeah. So at least they were like, yeah, this is who we are. I mean, we're gonna. I don't know. Am I allowed to swear? But yeah.
Yeah, of course you are.
But yeah,
go for it.
yeah. So yeah, we're assholes, but we know it, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank
How
you.
can you be too creative? Yes.
This has been such a great episode. Linda has commented again. Oh, Laura, here we go. Laura, hello. How can you be too creative? I bet they had a corporate mission of being innovative, which is not just a buzzword. It needs creativity. Exactly right, Laura. Exactly right. I genuinely had no idea like why this company was like, oh, we need you to bring new ideas, but you couldn't think creatively. It just seemed really, really counterproductive. So yeah, they were asking for all of these creative ideas, but they didn't want somebody to be creative within their environment. It's very counterproductive. It didn't make any sense. But you're right. At least they owned up to the fact that they thought of a certain type of way. Very much so. But yeah, I wanted to say thank you so much for all of the advice that you've given to. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I have learned so much during this episode about like just like those little like just the stage name and that little exercise that we did. Guys at home, if you are watching this or you're listening to this on podcast, make sure that you give that a go. Honestly, it has blown my mind. I know for a fact there's going to be quite a few people wanting to jump onto that little exercise. It's been so good. But before I let you go, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like the opportunity to discuss now?
So many things we could talk about. I feel like we could do several episodes here. I just want to say that we've talked about some of the labels and some of the imposter voices and so on. Just be really gentle with yourself when you're trying these things, because sometimes we try something and we get into the mirror, we try moving our body without narration, or we just really be gentle with yourself, and if it raises anything, let yourself feel it and let it go, and then try again.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, if people wanted some more information about the work that you do, or they wanted to maybe get in touch with you about this Confidence Through Cabaret, or even just having a bit of one-to-one time with yourself because they've learned so much from this episode and they don't want this episode to end, I see you. Where can people find you?
So I'm Confidence Through Cabaret on everything. So that's podcast, that's YouTube, that's I hang out a lot more on Facebook in the Confidence Through Cabaret community, because I just love the interaction and the support that everyone shares, and the lack of spamminess. You know, it's just like really everybody kind of coming on and talking about what they're doing rather than sort of sales pitch. I have Confidence Through Cabaret. We put up new masterclasses every month that inform or uplift confidence. Those are done by myself as well as others. And I am Heather Jean on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere. So, all the usual socials. Also on LinkedIn, all the socials. But Confidence Through Cabaret, you'll find me. Yeah. But drop me a message. I'd love it. I'd love it. We have a new challenge starting the 23rd of November, which is about 3 steps to love the skin you're in. And we just want to get to be feeling really great before the year ends. So we go into the new year with some momentum and confidence. So if you want to be part of the webinar, it'll be a private streaming. It won't be a public one because we're talking about our body confidence. So so if you send me a DM or get in touch with me on Confidence Through Cabaret, and then I will send you the registration.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. If you are listening to this on the podcast, make sure that you check the show notes, because all of the links that have been mentioned you will find in the show notes there. So make sure that you go and check them out. It will be definitely worth it. So please do that. Okay, have you got some final thoughts for us today? Something that people should be taking away from today's episode? Why has it been important for you to come onto this show, and what inspirational message can you give?
Okay, so I would say that for me, when I had the really difficult times when I was really struggling with confidence, I really found it hard to follow things like, gratitude and journaling and meditation and all the things that we are supposed to do that are really great calming techniques and really important for us. But I would say, when you start to just find little things that are going well, little things that you're doing well, you'll get some momentum and you'll keep on moving. And it's baby steps, it's the usual thing. We crawl, then we walk, then we run, and then we soar. So just be patient and keep on going. And my last piece of advice, and this is my favorite life advice ever: control the controllables and let the rest go. Do what you can. That's it. That's all that's expected, that anybody could ever expect from themselves, is do what you can. And the things you can't control, let them go.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show, for speaking so honestly. It's hallelujah. Yes, Laura. Hallelujah indeed. Such an uplifting, positive episode. Loved it. Thank you. Amazing. It's been such a good episode. Deborah over in Arizona, great advice. Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. One last time before I let you go, just because of the and I'll edit this bit out, but the Wi-Fi connection wasn't great. Can you give me your quotes, so the controllables, and what that quote means to you?
Yeah, control the controllables and let the rest go means that we do what we can, we influence what we can, we that's all we do. We show up and we try and we do our best. And then anything else beyond that, let it go. If there will be things that you don't even have any control over. What other people think of you is one of those things. Let it go. Everybody doesn't have to like you. Not everything needs to be perfect. So don't apologize. Don't explain. Just do what you can and let the rest go.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so. I feel really uplifted. I'm going to be flying down those stairs at the moment. After this, I'm going to be like, I just feel really light and everything. It's going to be absolutely epic. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And just to reiterate, so are you currently in the UK?
Yes. Yeah, I'm in Bristol.
There you go. So you're in Bristol, which means guys who are in the UK, if you wanted to be part of this, you wanted to be part of these webinars and the work that Heather does, make sure that you go and check them out. Honestly, if you've been just even the slightest bit inspired by tonight's episode, make sure that you go and check out Heather. I'm going to do that. That's what I'm going to go and go ahead and go and do now. So make sure that you do it as well. It would. I can already tell it's going to be worth it. I've had half an hour of speaking with you and I'm like inspired to hell. So yeah, I'm going to be, yeah. Linda's asked, can we dance right now? Linda, you go and dance whenever you want to.
Yeah. Always room for dancing, Linda.
Always room and always time for dancing. The life is your stage. You just get out there and go and do it. Thank you again. It's been absolutely amazing. You are now free to say your goodbyes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for participating through this. And if you're just listening on replay, then make sure you comment and we'll reply back. So great to connect with you all. Marcus, thank you so much for such a great time. It was fun.
It's been so fun, and we will definitely do this again in the future. It's been absolutely amazing. I can't wait to have you back.
I can't wait to come back either. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Wow, what an amazing episode. I'm sure that you'll agree. I genuinely feel so inspired right now. I'm literally going to be like running out of here. I'm going to be doing, right, okay, what do I do now? I just want to do so much more. I feel like I've got this burst of energy. It's going to be absolutely epic. Make sure that you go and check out the website of Heather's. So you've just got www.confidencethroughcabaret.com. Go and check that out. Go and check out the social medias. Go and check out the work that she does. Honestly, I'm genuinely really, really, really wanting to go ahead and do this. So if you want to come and join me, then, give me a holler. Make sure that you drop me an Instagram or a Twitter message. You can follow me over on my socials. It's just spillit_Marcus. And also, if you wanted to come along, and come and join me, make sure that you come and drop me an email as well. Marcus@spillit.uk. That is the best way that you can get in touch with me. What a great episode. Love it. Absolutely love it. Amazing. Next week on Spill It, I have got another fabulous, amazing episode ready for you. We have got Leslie Elder coming on to talk about changes in life, how she had packed up her bags and she had left the country to start a brand new life. And she's going to be here to tell you that any time that you want to do that, you can do. It is never too late to make changes within your life. So Leslie will be here and she'll be talking about her brand new book, I Would Rather Eat a Cactus, which I absolutely love the title of that book. It's going to be, we're going to learn all about that and more next week right here on Spill It, live every Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And of course, over on podcast every single Friday. Make sure that you tune in for that. But if you wanted to be part of the conversation, you've got to be part of the lives. It is as simple as that. I'm looking as well for more of you guys. So you guys participate every single week. You guys coming into the Spill It fold, into the Spill It community, and you guys say hello. You give your messages. You say hello to my guests. You say hello to me. You ask your questions. You leave your comments. Through December, I want to hear from you guys. Do you want to be part of the show? I'm looking for, at the end of December, we're going to be talking about Spill It in 2021. And I'll be looking for some people to come on, even if it's just for 5 minutes, just to talk about how Spill It has helped you in 2021 and what's been your favorite episode so far. I'm looking for all people who are listening to this on the podcast, who have been watching this every single week since the beginning of 2021, or even beginning of 2020 when we first started. Whenever you have been involved, if you want to come on the show just for 5 minutes, and you don't even have to come on the camera, we can do a video we can do a video call, or we can do actual telephone call, and I can record, and you can be part of the episode as well. It's going to be such a good little treat for people at the end of 2021. So all you have to do, if you want to be involved in that, just drop me a DM, or you can drop me an email, marcus@spillit.uk, and we'll organize you and we'll record a little 5 minute video, and you can be part of the conversation as well. And we'll play that live on, New Year's Eve, talking about how much Spill It has helped you in 2021 and also what you've learned as well and what's been your favorite episode so far. So, I'd absolutely love to hear from you. My name is Marcus Wright. When I don't do this, I have a coaching business called MW Coaching. That's Marcus Wright Coaching, or mental wellness coaching, where I teach people, and it's funny that we've talked about it tonight as well, but I teach people how to step out of their own way and release themselves of the barriers that they put up around them. Imposter syndrome is real. We've talked about it tonight. It does affect us in different ways. 70% of people will experience imposter syndrome in their life. And there are plenty of coaches out there who will, do what they can to help you out. And I am one of them. And if you're wanting to get involved with that, all you have to do is drop me an email, marcus@spillit.uk, or you can get in touch with me on all of my social medias. They're all the same, spillit_Marcus. Grab me on any one of them. Of course, all of the links to that, and including everything to do with the show, is over on the website, www.spillit.uk, where you'll be able to watch every single episode. You'll be able to find out the work that I do outside of Spillit, and of course, you'll be able to support me and the work that I do. You can join the official Patreon and become an official teacup, where you literally, all you do is just donate £2 per month over on Patreon, and you'll get all the extra Spill bonus episodes. You can get one-to-one sessions with certain guests that I have. You can get discounts off merch, and you get your name put into the end credits of every single episode of Spill It, and more. There's going to be so much happening over on Patreon over in 2022. So now is the perfect time to jump over there. And that takes us to the end of the show. I hope that you guys have had fun. I know I have. It's been absolutely amazing. So until we spill it again, it's bye for now. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Spill It. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do so. Spill It goes live every week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And a special thank you to these amazing teacups.